All right, it's part two. We're doing a nice landscape here, seascape. And what have we done so far? Good question. We have gotten our preliminary sketch in lightly with a nice 1.0 pencil, retractable lead pencil. Then we um, went with our first glazing or first wash. And in some of my recent videos, I've been kind of trying new techniques. As we always say, try new techniques. Why not give it a try? You're going to learn some new ways that the watercolor medium is going to challenge you to approach things differently and be more keen and on your toes as you paint. So here we did our first glazing, which kind of is a very much a help to a watercolor artist. If you can do things in glazings, you go with a first light glazing, sky and clouds. Then you really already have like the base of your painting completed, and then now we're just going to go in and we're going to do our middle tones and dark tones or tonal values at this point. Since we have our sketch already completed, we don't have to worry about where we're going to be painting. We have our, in essence, a map of what we have to do on the paper already. And if we're, of course, I'm working from a photograph, and because of copyright issues, I really can't. Most times, I can't show my photographs of what I'm doing because it might be someone else's artwork, and they decide that they're going to take legal action against me to because I'm using their taking photographs of their work or using their work on mine. So be very careful if you're an artist and you're using other people's artwork, especially if you're going to sell it. If you're going to sell your artwork and it's a copy of someone else's painting, that's really wrong. And of course, an artist can, try to take legal action against a person if they do that, which is not good. That's not a good issue to be involved in. So anyway, again, we're first wash is complete. First glazing, clouds, sky color. I used French ultramarine blue and also mineral violet. So it's a purplish blue, but more blue. Just a little bit of mineral violet in there to give that a little bit of a variation, that blue. And cerulean blue as well, mixed in with some burnt umber and some burnt sienna for the cloud colors, the darker, warmer tones. So this actually is a really nice look when you have some of those warmer tones in the sky like the clouds. Usually clouds are cooler, but sometimes you can warm up a cloud and maybe add a little bit of, warmer color to it. To your artwork, you can really create it any way you want. You can make the sky really any colors you want. So we're going to start with our let's start with our tree trunks, our palm tree trunks. So let's go with some green, some burnt umber, some more burnt umber there, a little bit of raw sienna, touch of blue. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's try that. Now I'm going to vary. Make variations in this. So I took a little bit of a tissue and dabbed a little bit. What we wouldn't want to do is just take a big blotch of paint and just take one big stroke and go up and do the tree. That would look boring. So here we're going to take our time Who likes some dry brush? Dry brush is always good. Let's try some dry brush here. There we go. Some dry brush. That looks fantastic. Maybe a look of some shapes that kind of give it a round look, like that. So basically I'm making sort of like a cylinder shape here and there. And I'm taking my time going up, but I want to keep that nice flow. Clean off the brush, tap it on the sponge. Now maybe we'll go and we'll get a lighter tone. I'll start going over here. I'll pick up some of that paint. A little bit of a lighter tone there, some more dry brush. Okay, now I would say if you're painting like this, your first, I'm looking at a picture, of course, so I'm looking at a photograph across from me, and in the photograph there's two trees next to each other like this, with the palm trees on top. So here the best method to do this would be do both trunks first, then do the tops. This way we're focusing our energy now on doing the trunks of the trees, the palm trees. Take that, dry that off a little, the brush off a little bit with tissue, and then we get some dry brush. I think I'll go in and get some green and make this more of a green now. Change that a little bit. Add a little bit more there. Okay. A couple splashes down there. There we go. And let's get some cylinder shapes up here maybe. See, that looks good if you do those little round cylinder shapes on the trunk itself. It makes it look round. Okay, now we have some French ultramarine blue, sap green, nice rich dark, some burnt umber, and then we're just going to go in and do some nice bold strokes here. See how I've just kind of, you can always, before you do that, you could always take a practice piece of paper first and kind of do a couple practice runs on what you're going to do before you go in on your paper. You know, kind of say to yourself, well, how do I want to make these palms on this palm tree? So you can kind of work it out on a piece of scrap paper first, and then when you go in to do it, you kind of already have practiced like a little bit beforehand, and you have it. And I see some yellow ochre here too, some golden colors. So I'm going to do a couple of those. I'm going to keep this painting a little more loose and free, and I'm not going to spend, you can spend as much time as you want and you like as you're painting. And, I like more faster, looser paintings myself, but you might like a lot more details, so you can take your time a little more and kind of work things out. More details if you like, but that's pretty good for what I'm doing. I think that's, seeing that looks, and I'm just going to kind of quicken the pace here a little bit just to. The key is to keep your mixtures changing. You don't want to. You want to have a lot of different mixtures going. Make variations a lot in your mixes. That looks great if you do that. If you can remember to do that to mix. I'm seeing that. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. And again, I'm changing the colors here to make it look more. Sometimes too, you can just block in some color. Every stroke doesn't have to be a branch or leaves or something. You can always. Okay, that looks good. Now let's stick with the same colors. Maybe add a little bit of. I'm going to add a little bit of alizarin crimson here, just for a little warmer color here. A little bit of yellow ochre. And I think I'll use that for the roof. All right, so I'm going to work over here now and do some roof colors for these bungalows. These bungalows along the side of the shore here. This beautiful shore scene. We got the waves crashing, the seagulls singing, the wind and the breeze blowing, and there's no worries. We're at the shore. That means it's vacation time, or no worries at all. Just enjoying the nature, the ocean sounds, the seagulls, the sand, just relaxing. And I'm putting on the roof over here. And I'm going to connect up these roof shapes with the okay, I'll start another section of another section over here of paint. The idea is not to get things mixed up too much. Mix up what you like, and then if you need more spaces, you just move along the palette and create a new spot for some new color. And then if you have to, you can wipe up, and then you can start more more mixes as you go. So this is pretty much in shade, but it is a warm shade, so we'll leave this warm over here. And this will be the light side, where the light's striking along this side coming from the right. So these walls over here will be white, bright white. And we can fill in the windows a little bit later. We don't have to do them right now. Let me check on the time here. Okay, we're at 14 minutes. So I will do some more yellow ochre here. A little bit of dry brush, yellow ochre. A little bit of gray into that. Okay.